Hey there, it's Elena Bear, and today I wanted to come on here and make my official announcement that I am going to be doing NaNoWriMo this year, National Novel Writing Month, which is basically you have to write 50,000 words during the 30 days in November, and this is going to be my third year doing it. I did win the past 2 years that I did it, and it's funny because even though I successfully did it 2 years back to back, I still am like terrified this year, and I'm still like, oh my gosh, what if I don't win? What if I totally fall behind? What if I just have no motivation, or if I just sit at my computer and can't think of anything to say, which is crazy because I have an outline. But as each day goes by, it gets closer to November, I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But it's so worth it. I mean, those of you who have done it before, you know it's so worth it and it's so rewarding. But one thing I have noticed is that it can definitely feel kind of lonely because you're not seeing your friends and family as often. You're just, you know, you go to school or you go to work and then you come home and you sit at your laptop for the rest of the night or whatever, and you know, it kind of, you feel isolated sometimes. So I think it's really, really important for us to stay connected on social media and on the NaNoWriMo website. I'm going to put a link to my page on the NaNoWriMo website in the description bar below this video. So please click on that and add me as a writing buddy on there, as well as add me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. I mean, I try not to spend too much time on social media during NaNoWriMo, but yeah, I definitely get sucked into it, especially when I just do not want to write and I sit down at the computer and I'm like, I'm so tired, I don't want to do this right now. But I get on Twitter and I search NaNoWriMo and I just like see all these posts of people that have been writing, or just encouragement to keep writing, and so then that gets me kind of pumped up and motivated to do my own writing for the day. But yeah, I think that's a really important part of NaNoWriMo, just to keep you from feeling isolated and to keep you from feeling like what you're doing is crap, because you will definitely maybe during week 2 or week 3 start to be like, wow, this is garbage. Why am I wasting my time writing garbage? And you need to ignore that. You need to do whatever you have to do to get out of that funk, because that is so toxic to think that way. Yeah, it's not your best work because you're trying to get as many words on paper as physically possible. So it's not polished, it's not edited. You know, maybe the sentence structure is completely ridiculous, but at least you're getting ideas out there. You're getting your unique and amazing thoughts onto paper, well, onto your computer, well, onto paper if you're handwriting it, which I don't even understand how you could do that without like losing feeling in your hand. But every single one of us has important stories that we need to tell, and don't ever tell yourself that your story is too similar to somebody else's, or oh, that's been done before. No, you have your own unique voice, and you know, there's nothing wrong with retelling a classic story, or you know, taking inspiration from a book that you really loved and kind of making it your own. And there's so many things that we tell ourselves that are negative and critical, and we need to completely let go of all of that and just allow ourselves to be creative and just go for it and not have any hesitations at all. Like, you can't let anything hold you back. No one's gonna see what you're writing right now. Like, before you let anybody read it, you will fix it up. So don't get hung up on grammar or sentence structure or anything at all. Don't get hung up on anything, basically. Oh, I guess I should kind of tell you what I'm doing for NaNoWriMo this year. So last year, I didn't finish my book, and I just have so much more to say about that. There's so much more that happens in that book. So at first I was like, well, I'll just finish that book and then maybe I can get like 20 to 25,000 words finishing that book, and then I'll start a new project. But as I've been working on my outline and as I've been figuring out all the things I want to say, it's a lot. Like, I may actually just do all 50,000 words on that book, which then means I'll probably turn it into a sequel as opposed to all being one massive book. I'll probably figure out a stopping point and then a starting point to the sequel and have it as its own separate thing. But I'll worry about all of that, like, you know, in 2016. I'm not even gonna like figure out where the ending of the first one is and where the beginning of the other. I'm just gonna write. I'm just gonna write my face off. And, you know, if it ends and I still have another 10 or 15,000 words I need to write, my kind of backup plan is to start writing a sort of memoir thing, because I mean, I've been through so much crazy stuff in my life already. So I don't know, I have some weird stories and stuff that I think should be documented. So if I finish that book, well, I guess it'll be the sequel to the book I wrote last year, then I'll just start writing some, you know, memories and some memoir type stuff. But that's my plan for this year. I feel like it's kind of lame because it's the same characters as last year. And I'm actually using a lot of, like, I wrote a really long outline last year and I didn't finish. So I still have, you know, part of the outline, which I'm changing a lot of stuff. I kind of hate how I wrote that. So I'm changing it around, but I have the basic idea. I have the same character, so I don't need to do any like character exploration or anything. I already know these people. So I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of cheating, but I'm not, because I can do whatever, I can write what I want, you can write what you want. But yeah, it's not like a brand new, fresh project with new characters and new setting and stuff. But yeah, so I'd be interested to know what kind of thing you guys are doing. Is it a completely new story, or is it a continuation of something you've written before, maybe like a sequel? Or are you doing nonfiction, like a memoir, or short stories? Like, there's so many different things that you can do. I'm just assuming that everybody does a new fiction novel every year, but I don't think that's the case, and I'd love to hear what you're writing about this year. But, you know, I think this is the worst part. I think like the week or two leading up to NaNoWriMo, that anticipation of, oh my gosh, just a few days until it starts, I think this is so much worse than Nano itself. Like, once you're in it and you're focused and you're in the zone, you're like, all right, I have to write for hours today, you know, or no, I can't go hang out with people, I need to stay home and write. Once November starts and you're in that zone, it's not as bad, I think, but like kind of just waiting for November to come is pretty awful. And you start to psych yourself out and have all these negative thoughts, and so you gotta just push them out of the way. You gotta just focus on, you know, this is supposed to be fun, this is for you. You're not doing this to please somebody else, you're not doing this to impress other people, this is for you. This is so you can be proud of yourself and create something that's one of a kind and something that didn't exist in this world before. So don't let yourself or anybody else discourage you from writing whatever you want to write every single day in November. And you know what I hear a lot is I hear people saying like, oh, I wish I could do NaNoWriMo, like that sounds awesome, but I really don't have time, so I'm not going to do it this year. What I suggest is, I think you should make a smaller goal for yourself. Like, say you're gonna write 20,000 words or 25,000 words. If you set that goal for yourself, do not feel guilty about not writing more than that. Like, if you say, I'm gonna write 20,000 words in November, and you reach the 20,000, you should be so proud of yourself because you reached your goal. You accomplished something that you didn't think you could do. Don't be like, oh, well, everyone else is writing 50,000 words, so I suck. No, you're working, you have school, or you have kids, or whatever you have going on in your life that's really important. So the fact that you can squeeze in a little bit of writing and you can create, 15,000 or 20,000 words that didn't exist before, that is awesome. And you should be proud of that. So I think that, if you are super busy and you have things that you have to make your priority, that's totally understandable. But I think that you could still try to squeeze in a little bit of writing just on the weekends or something in November. And then you can be part of this amazing thing, and you can still talk about it on Twitter, talk about it on the NaNoWriMo website, and join join the fun without having that daunting commitment of 50,000 words, because that is unreasonable for a lot of people. So I think that you should still do it. And whoa, the lighting is crazy. The sun's starting to set a little bit, so it's like, and then there's leaves, so I've got some cool shadows going on. Where do I go so it's not so scary? What was I saying? But yeah, as I mentioned before, I do have an outline, therefore I am a plotter all the way. The first year I did NaNoWriMo, I only found out about it on the 4th or 5th day of November. And then I was like, this is awesome, let me try to do this. And I had no clue what to do or anything, and I just kind of, I had like a idea for a short story like years before, and so I was like, okay, maybe I'll do that idea for NaNoWriMo and I'll just try to expand on that. So I totally winged it, and it was rough. Let me tell you, like, I don't think I was working that year, which is probably the only reason that I won, because I remember I was just on the computer all day, like struggling to get my words. Last year I had a very detailed outline, I had character descriptions, I was like super prepared, and I was working last year, so I had to be a lot more careful with my time management. But because I was so prepared, I was able to get my words, and you know, I was organized with like, okay, this is what's going to happen next, this is what's going to happen next, this is what's going to happen next. But yeah, I do feel a lot better having an outline and an idea and a plan going into NaNoWriMo. So let me know in the comments below if you are a pantser, if you fly by the seat of your pants, or if you are a plotter like me and you like to be super prepared for everything. Good luck, guys. This is gonna be fun. It's gonna be hard, but it's gonna be worth it, and yay, I'm so happy that I'm doing this again this year, and I'm looking forward to stalking all of your tweets and stuff at 2 in the morning when I'm stuck and I can't write another word. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!